If there is a document within this section that you feel does not apply to you or your practice, for example, the dispensary risk management policy applies to those practices that have a dispensary attached to them or a pharmacy. If this does not apply, then you can simply untick that box and it will grey out that option so it is not available to you. If you want to go back and add it to the toolkit and to your contribution, then you can tick the box and it will be highlighted again. To begin working on any of the documents, simply go to the document column here, and to open a document, click the drop down next to the blue icon and choose the document in use. This document is fully editable in Word and you'll be able to make any changes that you feel are relevant. So simply click on that document and you can see it downloading here in the bottom left hand corner. And the document will open in Microsoft Word and you'll be able to make any changes as you feel necessary. Now the first section will be the document details, and this is where you can add in information about the particular document and the level of access that people will need. So the classification will be about who will be the audience for this document. Generally there are three main categories: whether it's a public document, which is one where internal and external people can view the details, for example patients in your waiting room as well as internal staff. Internal only will be for staff working within the practice, and you can also have a confidential where it will be limited to a restricted audience such as the practice manager and or the partners. The author and the role is simply the person who has written the document and their role within the practice. The organisation will be auto-filled from the details in the practice setup. So in this instance it is the KP practice. You can add a reference number to this document, and this can be any reference system that you choose. So for example it could just be the year and the version of the document. The current version number, you can follow the same pattern and use a number system, or you could say version A. If the document needs to be approved by another party, then you can enter the details on the name of that person here. For example, you could add in the name of a GP partner, or if it's to be approved by the person writing the document, you can add their name in as well. And the date that the document has been approved can be added in here as well. Section C is about the version and the changes that have been made over time. So the version number, as you can see from there, we have, you can enter the same details there. The date it has been done and who has created that document. The version approved by is again the name of the person, so as it appears above we can add details there, and any comments you need to add. The intention here is that this will be updated on a regular basis, and as those changes are made in this section you can add any changes and any review periods that you have done. So you could say that in 12 months time you return to this document and you are now on version B. The date would be let's say the 20th of January 2015. It's been created by the practice manager. It's also been approved by the practice manager, and any comments could be that the document has no substantial changes, however it has been reviewed on this date. And you can add the details to say that that has been done. So as I said, this will be a year ahead, so we'll call it 2016. And this can be done on an ongoing basis throughout the life of this document, for any changes that have been made, and you can also see the changes that have been added or made during its lifetime. The next column is the document access column. In here you'll be able to see all the Word documents available to you. If you click the drop down box you'll be able to see there's a document in use, which is the document that you can make changes to. Document if this document has already been published to your staff, and the implementation record regarding this particular policy. The next column along is the responsible person for that policy or the document. Generally this will mean the person that is writing or reviewing the document. The next column is the document status, and there's 3 different statuses you can get. Red is for a document that you have not started yet, orange is for a document that you are working on, and green is for a document that has been completed. You've got a comment section here where you can add any information that you may want to put in there. And the final 3 columns are regarding the implementation status of this document. Now you can tick the box to say that it has been implemented, in which case it turns blue. If the box is unticked, the box turns red. Once a document has been implemented, you can enter the date of implementation in this first column, and then the final column is the date that document will be reviewed, the next date that it needs to be looked at. It may mean you need to update the document, or just an entry to say that the document has been reviewed and is unchanged. Now going back to the document section, to make any changes to the document, you simply click on the document in use, and that will bring up the Word document, and you can see it downloading there in the bottom left hand corner. Now to make any changes to this document, you can add the details here. The front sheet is what's called the document control section. Now the first line that you'll see is called the classification. Now generally there are 3 key classification types. One is a public document, which means that it's open to everyone, including staff and patients that are reading the policies or the details in your practice. An internal only is for, as it says, internal staff only, so it's not available for viewing to the general public. And you can also have another document class called confidential, which is restricted viewing for a selected group of people. So that could include the practice manager or the management group or just the partners in that case. The author and the role is as it says, the person who's written the policy, who's written the document, and their role within the practice. So for example, you could have John Smith, the practice manager. The name of the organisation there is the practice name. So you can see at the top and in this section it's been auto-filled because that's the information that was entered in the practice setup section. The document reference number, this can be tailored to each particular practice. So you can make it as complex or as simple, or if you're using an existing referencing system, you can use the same one. So for argument's sake, you could say that this reference is the year of creation and a reference to the document itself. So OHP1, Occupational Health Protocol. The current version number, again, you can make this as straightforward or as complex as you need. So you could just simply call it version A. Current document approved by, so if it needs to be approved by one of the partners or the practice manager, then you can enter the details here, and then the date the document was approved would go into this section here. Any changes to the document can be entered into this section here, so the document revision. The intention here is that any changes that are made on an ongoing basis, so if a document has been reviewed in a year's time, then you'll be able to enter in the changes that have been made, or just the fact that the document has been reviewed and unchanged. As an example, we have one here that's been completed. We have the classification as internal, staff only. We have the name of the author and the role, the organisation and the document reference number there, the current version number, the document has been approved by this person, and this is the date that that document was approved. And you can see in the document revisions here the changes that have been made and who has made them and when.